Buenas, buenas. Welcome to In the DAW. I'm Kevin Ochoa, and today we're going to be taking a look at the best plugin deals of the week. So I'm just going to cover a wide spectrum of different um, sample libraries, effects plugins, and VSTs. Now, with this one, there's going to be a little bit more focus on contact libraries because I just started using Contact myself. So first of all, we have 8DO, which has a sell every 2 days for this whole month. So there's going to be 14 flash sales. And so far, they've had the Epic Taiko ensemble, which sounds like this. Yeah, sounds fantastic. They also had which one's this one? The Rhythmic Aura acoustic. So with this ones, they've sampled acoustic instruments and created rhythmic layers with them. Let's take a listen. Yeah, they just sound amazing. So everything they do has a great sound quality, and they're very diverse. They actually have a partnership now with Dave Smith in creating the Prophet X, which has over 130 gigabytes of samples, I believe, or 150 gigabytes of sample contact. So it's a very, very powerful synthesizer, which is being powered by all the sample libraries from 8DO. So I'll take a look at that if I were you. Let's take a quick look at the Prophet X intro, just so you guys can have a taste of what this synthesizer can do.
For 30 years, people have been asking to be able to play samples through analog filters. The ability to be able to interact with the samples with a true synthesis engine is just amazing. The Prophet X is completely different from our other synthesizers, mostly because of the samples. It does retain the same ease of use and instant accessibility to everything on the front panel. We decided to work with 8DO because we think they have the widest, deepest sample library available. I've known Trolls and Tanya for years. They have so many different sounds, and not only the obvious ones, but all kinds of crazy shit.
So yeah, they have excellent stuff in there, and it's just amazing that they partnered together and actually created this synthesizer which has samples and you can manipulate them as if they were oscillators. All right, so I'm gonna stop ranting about 8DO because they have great people working for them, and just great, passionate working people who actually want to deliver very true samples, but also very creative samples. All right, I'm gonna move on to the next thing, which is a bunch of contact libraries from different manufacturers inside Plugin Boutique, which are on sale at this moment. First up, there's Paths by Audio Modern. Let's take a listen. That's some great stuff right there. And it's not as detailed, and they use different type of synths instead of just using acoustic samples like ADO does. But for $10, you really cannot go wrong at this very moment. So that's Paths 2 by Audio Modern. Up next is the glitch machines. So these guys have different style of plugins where they do really quirky things. So, for example, Subvert does distortion via different types of filters and different types of units. Let's do a quick sample of that too.
Behind Subvert signal routing effect.
Okay, let me pause this, but open it up. Press F. So as you can see, they have 3 different channels, and basically you run through a filter, a ring mod, metalizer, distortion, digitizer, and a final channel master. But then there's also a final master amongst all of them together, and you could also put envelopes and feedback effects, EQs, and also different types of LFOs upon all these different channels. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next thing, which is Chimera. It's this really strange type of creepy vibe type of sample pack by Glitch Machines. Let me play you some of the stuff. Again, for $1, you just cannot say no to this. It just has a great variety of different types of sounds. You hear screaming, you have drones, you have glitches. It's pretty good, and for $1, that's very, very cheap, and I would not pass that up. Okay, up next is the KV331 audio cell. They have some other synths. They have Synthmaster 1 for $55, and Synthmaster, the OG one, for $70. And if you buy them together, you get them for $77 actually. So for $8 more on top of that $69, you also get Synthmaster 1. So I'd definitely check them out. And trust me, there's so many sounds in here that you're never going to run out of anything to work with. And if you ever miss or have any doubt in a type of sound you're trying to create, and if you're looking for something, this thing has it. It has everything from Jean-Michel Jarre inspired stuff to stuff from Zed. It covers everything in the spectrum of audio synthesis you can think of. Next up is something I'm not going to recommend. Why I'm not going to recommend this? Well, it's because this sample pack, even though it's $1, or preset pack, I should say, even though it's $1, it just does not have the depth. And any VST actually comes with these type of sounds already made. So I just find it unnecessary to actually have this and purchase this thing extra when you already have really good presets that come default with many of your actual VSTs. Let's take a listen. Yeah, the presets here are just so basic that I just see no reason as to why I actually purchase this. All right, I'm gonna go to the next deal, which is I'm gonna go into the next deal, which is Transgressor by Boz Digital Labs, which is $49 instead of $99. So it's a great deal. It's a really unique transient designer. I believe Jerry has a tutorial on this, so I'm gonna link that down below. Up next is a sale on the Raw Papin stuff, which has Predator 2 on sale for $120 instead of $149. So that's roughly $30 off, which I think is a great deal for this awesome synthesizer. And on top of that, you get there's also a cross-grade single free upgrade to version 5. I'm not sure exactly how this works. Let's pull this up. Let's read the detail. Please note this is crossover for users who already own one times fully licensed Raw Papin plugin. All right, so that means that if you already own one plugin from Raw Papin's bundles, which could be Predator, it could be Blade, or it could be Raw, but for $240, you get all the other synthesizers in there, which is insane when you think about it, because he has, let's see, he has Boom Bass 2, Blade, Blue 2, Predator 2, Predator plus Predator FX, Prisma, Punch BD, Raw, Rhythm Guitar, AP Mod, RP Delay, RP Distort, RP EQ, RP Verb 2, all for $249. Of course, you have to buy the other synthesizer, but for roughly $380 or less than that, if you buy Predator 2 at this moment, you get all his synthesizers for under $380, which is insane for synthesizers with that quality. All right, I'm going to go on to the next plugin, which is Cream. Now, Cream is a really interesting plugin because my main issue going out from many other DAWs besides FL Studio is the fact that I cannot make melodies quick. I cannot make arpeggios quick. I cannot start musical ideas very quickly. But using Kernel Cream, I can. Just take a listen to this. So basically, you have a couple things. You have a gate, a swing, octaves, transposition, rate. So you can decide how quick you want your arpeggios to be, how long the gate is, how much swing they have, what octave range they are, and of course you have different patterns down here. You have up to 12 of them, and then you have order, chord order. So each hit can actually be a chord hit, or it could be a different individual hit. It also has length, gate, accent, transposition, division, shift, and you have your sequencer. So this is actually a very interesting, very quick and easy to use plugin, and actually featured this on my top 10 plugins of 2017. So definitely check that out. Okay, up next we have a 56% off sale on Soundable products. So you can get the Smart EQ Live, which is an insane EQ. I'll be making a review on this pretty soon. You also have the Proximity EQ, Freiraum, Smart EQ, and Entropy EQ. Now, the Proximity EQ is very, very unique in how it handles stuff. So I'm also going to be doing a tutorial on this. But basically, instead of thinking about EQ in a traditional way, you can think about this as a mixture between using match EQ and real-time and having a real-time reaction from the EQ. So, for example, if you have a signal coming into the Smart EQ Live and you tell it to imitate a master from another track, it will start to shape it a little bit, but you'll also get the option to blend different frequency bands or the whole spectrum. So it's a very, very powerful plugin. The same thing with the other EQs. You feed them information, and then you can decide either on the whole channel if you want to remove the proximity or the reverberation in the room, or only reverberation on a certain band, which is very, very cool. All right, I'm going to go on to the next plugins. So this is the Film Score Companion. Again, this is not going to have the same quality as the samples from ADO. Of course, because if you see these samples from ADO are 198 just for the Taiko ensemble. But for the Film Score Companion, you get, for $100, you get a wide variety of things. You get the brass, strings, woodwinds, the 80 ensemble, Big Bang percussion, and the Big Bang universal drums. Now, I think while they're certainly not the best, they're actually quite diverse in the type of sounds that you can get out of this pack. So I think that justifies the very cheap price tag, or I should say very economical price tag, because the sounds, they don't sound like toys, but they just don't have that same quality sound that ADO has. Let's see if I can get some sample audio from here. Let's pull up the strings. All right. Yeah, it just does not have that same quality that ADO samples have. But if you want to use strings and you've never used strings before, or if you want to start doing orchestral scoring with your EDM type of songs, these will fit right in because they're actually very present and they can cut through the mix. They don't have that same type of how do they call it? They don't have that amount of detail that the ADO samples have, so they require less mixing, I would say. Now, onto the next thing, which is the AudioThing plugin cell. So AudioThing has a wide variety of different plugins. They have and everything from the vinyl strip, which Jerry has done a video on, the wave box, which is a very interesting distortion unit, the Latin percussion, and the hand clapper, which I've been meaning to get my hands on, but I just haven't. Um, and they also have a contact somersault. So some of these ones are very quirky, which is what I like about Audio Thing. So first up, I'm going to show you guys a very interesting little glockenspiel, which is a glockenspiel which was actually played with ping pong balls, and it's going for $4. So I think it's a very boutique instrument, and it has its place in the market, which is for people who want quirky sounds. So let me play you the video. Let's see. So yeah, it's a very very quirky sound library, but for $4, it's something you can play with, and I do see this being an actual song. So uh, I do see, I do think honestly that for $4, I don't think it's going to be a waste. It's going to be very fun to play with, and also they recorded 3 times round robin, which is very very cute. But yeah, it's actually very cool. Oh, and not only this, but they have pads. So I'm guessing that what they've done is done some type of granular synthesis inside the plugin, where it actually stretches out all the ping pong hits and just spreads them out. I wonder if they have that type of audio sample in here. There you go. If you listen very closely to the background, you can actually hear a stretched out hit. I could even see this being used in creepy type of um, um, a creepy type of movie trailer, actually, because if you see this, if you detune this a little bit and add some reverb into it and put this behind a very very dark with a very dark room with dolls, I do see this being a very creepy, very effective sound. All right. Up next is the milkshake. So it's a quirky type of sound that they've made, which is why it's so hard to explain, because you're just like, why would he do this? But they've gone ahead and done it. So if we read this here, they've actually, what instrument did they sample here? They sampled the Waldorf Micro Q. So then they ran it through other filters. Again, very different from other sample libraries you hear. Kind of quirky, I should say, as well. Just like the Pong Glockenspiel. Yeah, these guys at Audio Thing just make really quirky stuff. There's also the GAC 150, which I would try to use this for something like a lo-fi house. Now, what this is a GAC 150, which has been run into a Metasonic R54 tube VCO VCF to give it saturation. So it's something that it sounds a little bit more dated. Does not sound as quote unquote as modern as your straight up VST plugin would. So it definitely has a place in something like a lo-fi house production. Very cool. There's also pipes. Let me play them real quick. And what they actually sampled here is not pipes, but actual tubes, cans, and well, pipes too. But a bunch of metal stuff, which then they brought in here. And I believe this other sample over here, they actually have the spray can become like a kind of like a Guido. Hear that spray can kind of being like a Guido? That's so funny. A spray can Guido. Okay, the next thing up is a tape station, which again, I think this could be used for lo-fi house. And this is actually the Novation base station ran into a type of it's a tape recorder. I'm not sure what type of tape recorder this is, but it was recorded to tape and put into a contact instrument. All right, the next thing is Wave Box by Audio Thing. So this is a very quirky distortion unit. It actually features, let's open this up. If it lets me open it up. It actually features a distortion which is being LFO'd. Check this out.
Change the phase plus or minus button.
Okay, let's open this. So it has an LFO down here, actually two LFOs, an envelope follower, which can be routed into the distortion. And you can actually create asymmetrical distortion and rhythmic asymmetrical distortion by modulating one side of the wave shaper and not modulating the other. And then you can automate the rate, the amount, the ceiling, the type of wave on the LFO to modulate your distortion unit. So let's see if I can get some audio examples from here.
Modulated movement or a wobble, if you like.
So you see how that moves? So it's basically creating movement between the top and the bottom part of the waveform. Let's see if we get some audio from here.
Melody a bit. And LF.
Oh, come on, man. You're not... There we go. This is really cool, and it actually sounds slightly different from feeding into a distortion unit, because what you're actually controlling is the wave shape, or not its input. So it sounds a little bit different than just driving a distortion unit. Okay, up next is sounds by Soniron, and it's Sonesphere's 1 Distance, which is running $41. But there's some sounds in here that I really liked. Let's play some audio. And should be from this one. So basically this is meant to do more like ambient type of sounds and pads and textures. So let's hear this demo out briefly over here. Yeah, it's very ethereal, so I'll definitely be checking it out. Next up is this really strange effects processor, which is basically it's an EQ with multi-band compression, but it does it in a very cool way. Let me open this up. So basically, this is working kind of like a pool tech, but instead of just working in the low part, it works anywhere. So basically, you can drive the EQ, which is the pink band right here, but then you can compress, which is the blue band, I believe, or the white band. I'm not too sure which band that is, but you can use them to compress into each other or to expand, which is very interesting because back in the day you'd only be able to do this with the Pultec. But what this allows you to do is to focus on a sound without it becoming irritated. And I'm gonna be definitely picking this up and doing a tutorial on this because I think it's a very unique plugin. All right, up next is the mastering bundle by Soundspot. Now I have some of their plugins like the Overtone, and I think I have the baby version of Axis. And there's some cool stuff. It's definitely unique. I don't think it's the greatest cream of the crop stuff for mastering, but there's some unique stuff in here, and I'd definitely be checking it out. So I think this is the upgrade. So if you buy, for example, if you get the Overtone for $1, you can get this upgrade for $75, which is very good for all those plugins you're getting. Okay, up next is the Quasa Summer Sale. So they have a different percentages off the different products. The Eve AT series is off 50%, which is $39. They have the Kratos 2 Maximizer minus 3%, which is $33, 33 cents, my bad. They also have the MP50, which I really like. And they have it for $34.81, which is 41% off. The Effective Distortion Bundle is also very cool. They have it at 37% off, and it's at $47.20. Very cool. And just take a look at all this stuff right here, because most of it's on sale, and it sounds fantastic. Okay, the next plugin is it's more like it's what it really is. It's a Max Relive device, so this is only for Ableton. But the cool thing is it creates random rhythmic structure. So if you're stuck in a creative rut, you can definitely pull this up and have this create some grooves and some rhythms for you very quickly. So let's take a look at this.
We also have each lane. So let's say I like that. Just come over here and hit save. But if I want to go back to that last pattern, I can. Any of these other ones I've saved.
Now, what impresses me the most about this plugin is the fact that things still sound natural. Usually when you have something in a randomizer, things will go very hectic and sound really out of rhythm. But with this plugin, things actually still sound pretty cool. So I definitely give this a go, and definitely for $19, having something like this, kind of like the Clear No Cream, when you're in a creative rut, really helps out. Okay, I think I already covered the glitch machines. And up next is, oh crap, some of the stuff from Brainworx, which is the console SSL 4000G and their console series. So basically they have their SSL 400G and the E model, as well as the N for on sale for a little bit. And because they've upgraded to actually having the SSL branding, I'm not sure how the sound difference is because I have not checked out these plugins. But if I do get my hands on it, I will be showing you guys. And yeah, so basically the upgrade is $99 each for anybody who's bought this, the older version of this plugin in the past year or so, I guess. Now, if you bought it in the last 3 months, you can actually get this for free. So all you have to do is create a support ticket and hit them up, and they should be giving you the upgrade for free. All right, up next is stuff from Audio Deluxe. And I'm not too sure if I should be recommending this or not, because I've discussed with Jerry multiple times, and certain things like the Waves Gold bundle are always on sale for $200. Even if it says it's on sale, it's really not, because this is what the pricing is most of the time. So unless it goes lower than $200, I don't see the justification for this. Now, this might be a slightly better pack than what you already have inside your DAW, but I find it really hard to recommend unless you're in something like Traction or the free version of Traction, or just trying to get some plugins that you can use in other people's computers as well when you're moving from studio to studio, simply because you don't have access to your own DAW. But yeah, I find it a hard time to recommend this when this is always on sale pretty much for $20. Now, what I can kind of recommend is some of these compressors that they have on sale currently, like the Waves DBX 160, which I've been wanting to get my hands on. It's only $29. And there's the API 250. It's very snappy. It's not the snappiest nowadays, but it's still very snappy. And it's on sale for $29. They have the Kramer Pi, which is usually a little bit more expensive, usually around the $70 mark, and it's on sale for $29. Yeah, but a lot of these other things I can't really recommend. Maybe their interface stuff is cool. Some mastering engineers still use it. But I try to shy away from these type of plugins simply because they're so old, and what's in your DAW is maybe slightly less better than this, or it could be slightly better depending on what DAW you have. All right, and yeah, to finish this off, I'm going to talk about the IQ Multimedia plugins, which have a buy one, get one for free at this moment. So definitely check out if you can find something that you like, or if you've been trying to get some IQ Multimedia stuff. Right now, there's a time to do so because you buy one and you get one free. All right, this has been everything for today. I'm out of breath. It's been roughly 30 minutes. I think this is the biggest plugin deals of the week I've ever done because so much stuff was on sale that was good. So this has been the largest plugin delays of the week video I've ever done. I think it's at 30 minutes now, but it's well worth it. There's a lot of good deals. This is a different presentation style as before, since I presented and showed some of the audio demos. I don't know if you guys want to have me keep doing that, but in previous versions, I would just run and just say, this plugin's on sale, this one's on sale, this one's on sale, and just move on. But I want to show you guys something different because we had samples. And just let me know if you guys are into this type of demonstration-wise, or if you want me to change back to the old ways. But yeah, this has been everything for Plugin Deals of the Week on August 5th, 2018. I'm Kevin Ochoa with In the DAW, and I'll catch you guys later. Adios.